Lightroom tutorials can be quite boring and very technical, but today I actually want to show you how you can take a raw file like this and really make it into, or turn it into, a unique picture that really stands out online in no more than 5 minutes. Now, first thing I'm going to do is bring down the highlights, bring up the shadows, then bring down some of the whites here, bring down the overall exposure, just because it was a bit too bright. Add clarity to bring out all of these textures on this beautiful building, and also bring up the vibrance to make all of the colors that aren't as pronounced already a bit more vibrant. Now, going down into the transform, let's just level it out. I don't want to go on auto because I still want to have this perspective of kind of looking up on it. I think that's really cool. And I'm going to go into the amount of vignetting, definitely add a lot of vignetting. And I just love vignetting for night pictures. It works so well to bring out what is actually in the center of the picture and just to set the mood. I mean, just from before, oh, that's the wrong one. Just before this vignetting to after, it just completely changes the photo. Now, one of the things that I want to do here that's quite special is bring down the blues, bring down the aqua, purple, magenta even, and just boost all of the yellows, oranges, and reds. So it's kind of a little bit like a selective color picture, although not a boring, classical, overused one, but rather really with a lot of orange and warm tones and very few blue tones, I guess. And that is actually most of the main look that I'm aiming for. But what I'm going to do to this picture specifically is add a graduated filter, reset everything, just make the sky a little bit darker. And I do want to have a little bit of blue here in the sky, so I'm going to bring out the color temperature for that and add kind of a purplish blue tone in the selective color tool here of the filter itself. And I really don't have to mask it. It doesn't matter if it overlaps with the building a little bit. Just going to get rid of all of the sensor spots in the sky here. Just see 3 at the moment. And also what I want to do is add medium contrast to this whole picture to pop it out a bit more. And while I'm at it, I might play with the hue of the red and orange tones so I can really have an even more unique picture. Look at that, for example. Bringing the orange hue into the minus, it really pops out all of these orange tones so well, especially compared to the yellows, which I love here. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the yellows as well. So let's go further down into the calibration tool and just see what we can do even further. I could go even crazier into the custom colors and really make it red or whatever, but I don't want to do that too far. Just a little bit into the minus blue primary color hue, and I'm gonna leave it right there. Instead though, I'm gonna go into the local adjustments, mainly the radial filter, bring a little bit of plus whites and warm tones and even contrast into here, and just bring it up over some of these parts in the bottom that could use a little bit more lighting. It's all about making it more interesting and more complex with this radial filter. And then very importantly, add some with minus exposure as well. Because if you have just everything super bright, it's just kind of boring, it doesn't have any differentiation. And I think that's a great way of achieving that, especially in a very local and very selective level with the radial filter. And even though, I could probably clone out all of this wire right here, because it really doesn't look that great. And ideally you would have some better clouds or something cool like that. But just, I think, for this video to show you how you can make a pretty, usual, not that interesting picture into something that definitely stands out in just 5 minutes, I hope you kind of get the idea. Okay, thank you very much for watching.